Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to the channel. This video, I'm going to be helping a user on Lightburn forum set up their Mansfield Roller Rotary on their CO2 laser. They're having a little bit of difficulty getting it set up just right, so we're going to run through the process on my machine, and hopefully this will help them to understand it and get it set up properly on their machine. So let's just jump right into it. I have the roller rotary set up inside my machine. Now I'll hit the reset button on the control panel, and as soon as the laser head starts moving, I hit the escape key. This cancels the homing process and it gives it a coordinate setting of 10,000 by 10,000. Then I will use the arrow keys on the controller, move the laser head into the approximate position where I want it. Then I'll take the y-axis and rotate that a couple thousand minus from 10,000. Because what will happen is if you leave it at 10,000 and you get into a little bit of a larger situation, it will only allow it to go up to 10,500 on my machine anyhow. So if I run it off to where it's like 8,000 something, then I have plenty of room to work with and it's not an issue. Okay, then next I place a piece of tape on the roller and align the red dot pointer to a pencil line that I marked on the roller, on the tape. I'm going to use that as our reference point, and I just put some Sharpie on either side of it so you can see it in the video, because the pencil mark doesn't really show up well. So in Lightburn we have the rotary setup dialog opened up. We have it set for a roller rotary, have enable rotary checked. On the Mansfield Rotary it has engraved on 4,100 steps per rotation, so we're going to start with that, and a 42 millimeter roller diameter, and it is on the y-axis. The stuff down the bottom here doesn't make a difference for anything. So at this point we're going to hit the test button and see what happens. And here I got an error message that says running this frame might exceed the bounds of your machine. Are you sure? Just go ahead and click yes. You may or may not see that on yours. I don't see it on my Windows machine. I do see it on the Mac here. So, and we see that the roller goes around, looks like just a little over twice, and then returns back to the starting position. So we're going to go back into Lightburn to the rotary setup, and let's just go to 2,000. We'll cut it a little more than half, and then we'll hit the test button again. And there, go through, and it looks pretty close there. So we're going to go with that. Now to get our calibration dialed in just right, I'm going to take a straight-sided tumbler, and straight-sided is very important for this part because we're not going to be working right at where it's running. We're going to be working farther down. So the only thing you have to reference is the portion of the tumbler that is actually sitting on the rollers. So by using something straight-sided, it's going to be a uniform diameter all the way through. So I took and placed one wrap of foil tape to protect the tumbler. Then I put one wrap of blue painter's tape on top of that I'm actually going to burn through, so I have something to look at. So we placed the wrapped tumbler on the rotary, and we come into Lightburn, and we need to create a rectangle to burn. So I'm just going to make it 5 millimeters by 100 millimeters. And the 100 millimeter is the important number you want to look at. Because we want to burn it, we're going to burn this on the tumbler, on the tape, then we're going to measure it with a flexible tape measure and see how close we are to 100 millimeters. And then we can adjust from there. So we're going to have it a low speed, low power. I want it to burn through the tape. I want it to mark the tape. And it doesn't need, minimum power can be there. We don't need to worry about corners. And I want to be at low speed because if you go too fast on a roller rotary, things slip, they fall off. It's not a pretty sight. And I never recommend using line mode on a roller rotary. So anyway, we have our 100 millimeter rectangle, and we'll hit send. Okay. Then just for sake of time, I'm going to move the tumbler a little bit. Go back in. Let's make it 2050. and hit send again. Oh, start rather. Hit start. Run that again. Then we'll move the tumbler one more time. Change to split the difference. We'll go 20-25. Hit that. And send that one. Then we'll take the tumbler off and measure it. Using a flexible tape measure, we'll start on the first one, which is 2000. And you see that comes up short. Let's go down to the next one, which we made 2050. Starting on even millimeters at 300 millimeters, 30 centimeters. And that's a little bit too long. We got on to one that was at 2025. And starting at 30. And that's too short as well. So let's try 2040 and see how that works out for us. And we'll and that looks to be right on. I've taken the painter's tape and the foil tape off the tumbler now and placed a new piece of tape with just a single mark for reference and placed it back in the rotary and aligned the red dot on that mark. The tumbler has a circumference of 227 millimeters, so I entered that. I'm in the move window now. I've entered that in here. We've slowed it down to a speed of 10 because I just wanted to move nice and slowly and not have any chance of slippage. And we're going to click on the arrow, and it should, if we're dialed in right at 2040, it should make one complete revolution and stop back on the mark. So let's see what happens.